Okay, hello, welcome back to Nostalgic Ape, and this is Nostalgic Monthly number 2. Now I understand it's been way longer than a month since the last episode, and that is unfortunately because some very unforeseen and unfortunate circumstances occurred, which I don't really feel comfortable going into on the channel, at least at this stage. I'm not sure if I ever will. But it is very serious, and it just required me to take some time away from all this stuff. So anyway, moving forward from that, this is episode 2, and what I'm going to do with this one is cover basically 3 months worth of content, but try to keep it in the same 20-minute span, so I'm just going to be rushing through a few things, and yeah, so we may as well just kind of get into it and see how it goes. Okay, so our first story is that actually a few days ago, about 4 days ago on date of filming, but actually a bit before that, Daxter and Jak and Daxter Lost Frontier had 2 pre-release builds released. Daxter being a full game pre-release build, and the Lost Frontier being a pre-release demo build. I've since checked out the demo of the Lost Frontier. I might be showing some on screen now. It is very interesting that some of the differences actually make the game feel a bit better, in my opinion. There are UI elements that actually make more sense, a bit more reminiscent of something like Jak X or something else in the series, having your active eco powers be more of a thing in the HUD, like in Jak 2 and 3, instead of, you know, basically a score system. And the weapon select definitely was cooler. Some of the movement stuff just felt a bit more Jak-like, but I guess they had to refine it on PSP controls because of the, you know, limited moveset of buttons. I actually do think the Lost Frontier gets a bit of a bad rap, a lot of hate, for something that obviously was 1, rushed, and 2, had limited controls. So anyway, I will be making a video about that and High-Impact Games as a whole, and a little High-Impact Games retrospective video that will hopefully come out by the end of the year, but it might be a bit later, depends how the things are developing, and it depends how that goes. I've yet to check out Daxter, but I'm currently having a look at that. And I guess that'll be in the next Nostalgic Monthly. Story 2 is obviously, like every other month, we are going to be checking out the Jak and Daxter OpenGoal progress reports. This month, what we're going to do is we're going to check out the progress reports for 3 months, essentially. 2 months, my bad, 2 months. And what we're going to do is go ahead and have a look at that now. So as you can see here, we have the progress report, June 2023. Now last time we looked at progress report, May 2023, and so we've got 2 more to look at today, and then in the next Nostalgic Monthly we'll have the August one to look at in the September video. We're just going to kind of skim through this one. There's just been some general changes. Some code was accidentally left in a way that caused the thread to run way more often than it should, so that would, I guess, in my understanding of threads, that should make a massive memory increase in terms of how much you can use, and even CPU, it'll work less on your CPU, I would believe, and allow you to do more tasks with those things. My understanding is very limited on that stuff, but yeah. Exactly, you may fix performance issues if you're running on low-tier hardware. Replacing this, some of the stuff we're going through, I'm not too sure what this means, but because I haven't been working on the project or anything, I'm just following it as a fan. But yeah, there's a huge change to the game's graphics output and input handling controllers, keyboard, mice. It was chosen because it's more up-to-date DualShock DualSense controllers handler of some kind. Additionally, it cleans up the code related to and it makes it easier to add more features. From a user's perspective, nothing should have changed. Screenshots, F2, you can now copy any screenshot to your clipboard. Translation updates, Swedish translations also finished, Dutch, Danish subtitles have actively been translated, with Danish already at 60% translated. That's pretty cool. I've never really thought about it too much, but if you do speak a different language, you would now be able to play Jak and Daxter and Jak 2, essentially, at some point, not all the way at this case at this current time, but at some point you'll be able to play it in your language with full subtitle support, and including the actual in-game subtitles too, which was never released in the original copies of Jak 2 and 3, and Jak and Daxter didn't have subtitles in the first place, so you'll now have access to that kind of stuff. Jak 2 fixes, patch floats on burgers collide flags. So this was interesting when I remember this. Bad collisions were causing floating point related crashes, like actual crashes to the game, such as around the Hobbit guards in the fortress rescue portion. So that's Act 3, Mission 1. Interesting. So that's now been fixed, which is pretty cool. Game to crash less, should be more stable. Fixed crane and drill platform and ruins and walls. Ruins, I think, is Dead Town. The Jak 2 internal name is Dead Town. Part of the crane and the drill platform and the breakable portions of the walls in Dead Town were not drawing correctly, and now they are. Address problems like Crew's holograms effects for being stretched towards the origin. Crew's holograms? I can't. The boss for Crew, yep, got it. Subtitle support. Jak 2 already has subtitle support, but there is some functionality they'd like to add. Speaker text, so and audio sources outside of the cutscenes are still to be subtitled, which I think have been in the next update, but just going off the top of my head. Yeah, so we're just going to kind of go through some of this quicker than we usually would. And this is a cool thing. Discord features now you can actually see someone's if they're playing the game, you can see what weapon they're using, how many orbs are collected, their subtitle, their save file information. You've also got, how many hours are spent on the game and the current sessions. That's pretty cool. And time of day as well, and the location. Which honestly it seems a bit overkill in my opinion, but it's still pretty cool. But I don't think I've ever seen anyone on Discord use something like this, so I'm a bit new to, maybe I'm a bit newer to Discord than other people. But I'm pretty happy with that. That looks pretty cool. I just don't know if many people would use it, but I hope they do. It just feels like one of those features that you can sink a lot of time into, and I just hope it's used from the user base. Anyway, so orb soft locks. There's a few situations where you could not get precursor orbs, like the Metal Hood Nest. So now you are allowed to return to the Metal Hood Nest after finishing the game to pick up any orbs. An orb in the cellars is now obtainable. Cool. Yeah, so that's pretty much everything. And if we go to the next progress report, this is the progress report July 2023. We now have Intel macOS support and texture pack management has landed, as well as a ton of progress and texture animations in Jak 2. So you can now play it on an Intel Mac, which is pretty cool. More functionality for people. The launcher can now be used to manage texture packs. This was a pretty cool feature actually. So texture packs with some mods that have. I'll display it now. There is a mod manager launcher texture packs. So if we have a look here, you've got Classic Jak 1, right? Classic Plus, so which is like, mimics PS2 Jak 1 speedrun behavior. These are all Jak 1 mods, by the way. But then you've got something like you can play the whole game on the flip-flop. But like you've got, texture mods of just texture changes. That, and like there's a snow one. Snowy Legacy, which is a pretty cool one. That's this one. So now you can just enable and disable them from the launcher themselves, which is pretty cool. So now you've got translation. Finish is now 100% done. Danish said 80%. So that's pretty cool. Again, pretty cool feature for people that need it to play the game. Essentially, it's what more can you ask for there. So some cutscenes had missing eyes or animations, particularly for the Fortress Save Friends Res. So this is that cutscene here. And you can see Tessa's eyes were black. I guess that has been fixed now. And as my understanding is the eyes in Jak and Daxter, especially Jak 2, the cutscene models are tied to the in-game models, like Jak size, but also like the eyes are really weirdly put together. I don't understand what's happening there, but it's like a texture, but they're also weirdly, I don't know, they do weird stuff, and that's just odd kind of behavior for a game. Correct me if I'm wrong, someone who knows better than me, please. So, fix original game stadium crash. So this is that crash that made the game unstable if you chose a side mission before that hero mission towards the end of the game where you have to defend the stadium. That has now been fixed. yeah, so this issue has been fixed by making sure the layout level is always loaded first. So yeah, that's pretty much everything for Jak 2. There's some collision fixes that make things a bit easier. Billboards now display. There's animations for the orbs and metalhead gems. Pretty cool. Aspect ratio and stuff options have been added to Jak 2. And some other texture fixes. So that is the progress report update section of the video. If you are interested in OpenGoal, you can go to the website listed here and you can download yourself a copy of the launcher. Jak 2 isn't publicly available, but there is plenty of videos on YouTube and stuff showing you how to actually get it to run, and you can do that yourself. Another thing I wanted to go over was there is a Jak and Daxter movie that has been leaked, and this happened a long time ago, right? Like if we think back to when the Uncharted movie came out in like February 2022, Ruben Fletcher back in the day, the director of Uncharted, said that he was working on a Jak and Daxter movie, and now it seems like this has been leaked. So a credible leaker by the name of I'm forgetting it now. I'll go to the article. Credible leaker on Twitter by the name of My Time to Shine Hello, who apparently has leaked things like Thor, Love and Thunder, I believe, and other movies in the past. It seems like he is a credible source, or they are a credible source rather, and yeah, basically this leak states that Chris Pratt will be being eyed to voice Daxter, and that Tom Holland is playing Jak in a live-action Jak and Daxter adaptation. Now, whoa, it has been a long time since Sony has touched Jak. 2009 was the last video game, and I believe that wasn't touched again in a single installment, because one, Naughty Dog didn't want to make their own one after trialing Jak for a while after that release, as it would have been a marketing, they would have been doing it for marketing reasons rather than like, you know, wanting to do it. And their concept art looks interesting. I was a bit more on the positive side. A lot of people were on the pessimistic side of that one. I did like those concepts. I thought that Jak could work as, and I always have thought that could work as a more realistic video game, just because Jak 2 kind of was there already. It was just sort of limited by the PS2 hardware, I reckon. It did have its own art style, granted, you know, GTA 3 had a more realistic art style for that kind of generation, but I always thought that made those games just kind of look nicer than the other ones. It made it look a bit more like a Kingdom Hearts sort of style. Yeah, I always thought it could work in a more gritty, realistic approach. I actually then had that reaffirmed when I was playing God of War 2018 for the first time. I played it in 2018 for a little bit before getting sidetracked in some work or something. So I finished God of War this year, as we discussed in the last Nostalgic Monthly. Yeah, I thought that, oh, you know what? If you implement some of the main control systems and stuff, this could work, you know, as a game like this. And anyway, moving forward from that, Sony hasn't touched Jak since 2009, and that is over 10 years ago. But you know, Sony has touched things like Twisted Metal, and Gravity Rush even apparently for their movies, and it seems like they're digging into their back catalogue of things to, you know, bring forward. And the interesting part of the story is that live action or animated, this movie comes out, there's a bit more attention on the doer, and Sony seems to so far be making games or releasing remasters of games with their movies. And either way, if we got like a Jak and Daxter remake or remastered, like a native remaster instead of some of the ports, and it played really well, that'd be cool. I would be down for that. You know, even just like a Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII sort of remaster where they just swap some models in and stuff, but it, you know, it looks really cool. That would be probably the perfect middle ground for something like Jak and Daxter, you know, because we've already had the remasters in 2012 and 2013 on the PS Vita. So yeah, something like that I think would be the ideal approach. Even, you know, it doesn't have to be necessarily from the ground up, just sort of done like that. I don't know how much easier that would be personally, but yeah. So it does seem like an interesting story. What do I think about the movie? Well, I think if it's a live-action film, they're definitely skipping Jak 1 and just doing a Jak 2 or 3 kind of film, and add some, maybe to add a bit more credibility to that theory. Uncharted, from what I remember correctly, the Uncharted movie did the same thing, where they had an Uncharted 3/4 movie in a different Uncharted universe that's separate from the games. But these events happened when Nathan Drake was younger than he was in the video games. like even in Drake's Fortune, and even in that PS Vita game. Like Nathan Drake was a teenager or like early 20s or something in the movies. And so I guess this what's going to happen here is like they'll be set in their own little universe separate from the video games, but it will have inspiration and events taken from those games. And I think Jak 2 and 3 would be the best way to do that, with maybe some of the Daxter origin story in there, like as flashbacks or something. I don't know how exactly they'll go about it, but it does seem like a promising premise to me, especially if they make it political and have a lot of intrigue and expand those like Vega and Baron Brink's stories and stuff like that. The Deimos Wasteland story, I always thought an origin to that could be a really good... I always thought if they did a Jak and Daxter movie or animated series or animated movie, it should start with Deimos being banished to the Wasteland, being overthrown, and that be the movie. Like, not a Deimos movie, but like, that's the start to where the events of Jak 2 take place, and then at the end, Jak's banished or something. Like, it's just sort of this weird like political cycle. But maybe that's just me trying to tie things into a neat bow there. But yeah, that's definitely, I think I spent enough time on this one, but that's definitely got me excited to see what happens. And this is the first time they've been back in the limelight. So if this is a true thing, and it does seem like it has some credibility to it, and the news sites have definitely gone wild with this one. Like, if it isn't true, then this is the fourth or fifth time they've posted about Jak rumor or leak being leaked, and sometimes they're like, it's a credible source, and it wasn't. So I can see why there's some pessimistic people on the internet saying this is fake, because they've been burned before, right? So yeah, this is an interesting one. I'm excited to see where this goes, but I'm not too sure where it's going. Another thing, as these are things I want to follow as I follow them on the internet, one thing I wanted to follow on this channel, one of the things that actually made me start this channel all those years ago, was the Simpsons Hit Run donut mod. Something I haven't touched for a long time, but I looked recently and they have a 10-year anniversary mod, which blows my mind. This mod came out in 2013. So I just want to go over what that has, and we may actually play through this on the channel at some point, because it is a really cool mod, adding a lot of content to this classic title. Yeah, I went over this morning, and I think I'm just going to follow these mods from now on. There's something in these videos. So yeah, this is the Project Donut Anniversary Edition, and it has all new missions from Project Donut with easy and hard difficulties. Some missions have special features from later versions of the Donut mod. I think there's been 3 releases of the Donut mod over the years. Custom hit and run chases, and you can change winter themes and stuff like that. That was a pretty cool modded Christmas theme based on the menu secret, where you could change the date to Christmas and then Homer would be like sleeping in the Christmas theme. It was pretty cool. Yeah, so there's a lot of cool stuff, and if we look at some of these pictures, you can see that this is the autumn texture pack, and there's a ton of content in this mod. This is the snow texture pack. There are new like boss locations and all sorts. Secret characters. I think this is what's going on here. There's like a secret character driving the car or something. I'm not too sure. We should definitely play the mod though, so we can figure out what's going on. Might even do that live. Get back into the live stream and stuff. But yeah, there's a ton of content in this pack, and it looks pretty fun. So yeah, we'll have a look at that and keep following me on the channel. I think I'm gonna leave that one here for this episode. If I think of anything else, I'll quickly add it in. I know that wasn't quite a couple of months worth of content, but I'm just trying to skip through these things very quickly and follow the stories that interested me the most. There's a lot more that has happened. There is Gamescom coming up in a few days, so I may make little separate things, but yeah, I wanted to get this out by Friday, so that'd be the 25th again, which is what I was trying to make these for. And so yeah, hope you enjoyed, and until the next one, it will be next month this time.
Alone at last, stuck at the top. If I ever lost, I think I'd just drop. My never-ending story of success is a lonely refrain. So I've one request. Join me at the top. Why don't you join me where the stars all shine, and join me at the top. Why won't ya join me? Let our powers combine. You know I can't resist a ditty, so join me. Oh wait, well, what a pity. Looks like I forgot.
They can't come up.
'Cause I'm everything you're not.
No. Ha!
Ah, that's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
I said that's pretty good.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Look at me and my flawless schemes, the kind you could never dream up in your dreamiest of dreams. Aren't you so lucky to have me to revere, your flawless yet lawless emperor right here? Join me at the top. Why don't ya join me where the stars all shine, and I will never flop. No, I won't. Just join me. Go on, fall in line. And no one's given me good reason to stop my usual power season. Join me at this spot. I forgot. I'm everything you're not. Who am I?
Our greatness?
And who are you?
Wait, I'm not gonna sing this.
You're no good without me.
What?
How dare you ever doubt me? Now listen as the doctor sings the case.
They join you at the top.
Yes, they would.
Join you where the stars all shine.
And boy, I'm so freaking hot.
You're scalding.
I should have them up.
But you will not.
It's all kinds of rad.
And hilarious.
To be all big and bad.
And nefarious.
So join me on my plot.
Never mind. Forgot.
I'm everything